Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about the sidecar pattern. This is one of the cloud design pattern. The description of this pattern is deploying components of an applications into a separate process or container to provide isolations or encapsulations. So the context of this problem is in applications often require a lot of related functionalities it needs logging, monitoring, configurations management, and networking services. So rather than implementing all these different peripheral tasks or related services in the main application itself, we can create separate components or services that does the actual task. So we can have another container or component so that is responsible for monitoring or logging or configurations management, everything, so that the main applications does not need to worry about the all these important related functionalities. Everything is managed by the sidecar container itself. So that's a perfect example of the sidecar pattern here. Let me go to the diagram here. So we have primary applications, which provides the core functionality, and then we have the sidecar container. uh, it does many things here. It does the logging, configurations management, proxy to remote services, platform abstraction, everything. And if you just look at this, both are deployed on the same node, and both uses the same shares the same resources and memory and all. uh, so if you want to monitor the monitoring or logging in anything, then you can always offload those tasks to the sidecar container here. So this is a let me give an example, a real world example here. So you have a main application, and that applications is a like a memory intensive applications, and you want to develop a service or a process that actually monitor the uh, memory usage of the main applications, and then collect some more metrics, and then and then we want to store that information into database or data store for some multiple purpose. So we can have a background process on the main application itself that does all these operations. But instead of having that logic on the main applications, we can offload that functionality to a separate service or container. So the containers is running along with the main applications, so using the same resources, and then it it secretly monitors the um, status or memory and all those things of main applications, and then it monitors it and then stores that information into the database, and then we can use that information for analytical purpose. So in this way, the primary application is not going to worry about the monitoring part, because everything is handled by the sidecar container itself. So this is a perfect example of a real world sidecar pattern. So there are a lot of advantages of using this pattern, but before using this sidecar pattern, we need to think about whether we need to have a separate sidecar container to do all these tasks. If it's a simple logging or configurations management, then you don't want to offload that particular task to a sidecar container. Instead, you can do that in the primary application itself, because maintaining a separate sidecar container, you need to think about deployment, because both share the same life cycle here. So whenever we deploy a primary applications, then you have to deploy the sidecar container as well. Whenever you undeploy this main applications, then you have to undeploy the sidecar container as well. So all these things are will add a lot of problem to the deployment, but there are a lot of advantage of using this sidecar. uh, the notable main disadvantages in this pattern is it always adds some latency to your services. For example, um, primary applications wants to talk to some remote services, and we can use sidecar container to do the proxying and all. But primary application has to go to the Sidecar, and Sidecar has to go to the remote services and fetching all this information. Here we are adding this Sidecar in between these two things, so it always adds some time delay. It always increases the latency. So if your application is a mission critical applications, then the response time is critical, means then you don't want to use this Sidecar container to do the proxying of remote services. Yeah, but you can use this Sidecar container for other purposes, logging, monitoring, and other things as well. So because of having this Sidecar container as a separate process, you can think about using any kind of framework or languages and all. So primary applications could be developed with Java or some other language. Sidecar could be developed with Python or some other different languages here. So you have the luxury of using a different framework or language in the Sidecar container here. Yeah, uh, that's it about this pattern. And this pattern is not should not be should not be used to every time. You have to think about whether we need to use this pattern or whether we have to uh, have this functionality on the main application itself. So you need to think about it and then decide what is the best for your scenario. And also thank you. Let me provide the description of this link in my video, in the descriptions of my video. Please take a look at it, and if you have any questions, please feel free to add your comments in the comment sections. Thank you.